Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me again. It's been a while, it really has been. But I'm here today with a tier list of every single game that I've played. Now obviously the tier list looks absolutely horrendous. It just looks like a massive clutter, but I am hoping I'm able to fit all this stuff in to the point where we can get this tier list done. Now, this is a tier list mainly based off all the games I've played throughout my life so far. There's probably still some I left out here, but like honestly, there's just so much I would need to put on here that I think this video would probably take a really long time to, get through and finish everything. So yeah, this is my tier list, and let's get started, shall we? Let's start rating these games. Now, I'm obviously gonna go with something random because there's so much to pick from all the games I've played so far. You know what? Let's start with a game I've been playing recently with my brother, Warframe. Now, this game, I have so much mixed feelings about, to be honest. Because, honestly, I really want to put it at like a B tier. Or like in between C or B. Now the only reason why is mainly because I just genuinely feel like the game has kind of gotten like a little bit stale with like all the systems they added. Like honestly, it could just be because like I have massive burnout, but I really feel like they have like way too many systems that like interfere with the game, and like it also makes it harder for newer players to get in. And people like to use the excuse, 100 hours in, it gets really good. Yeah, I don't think that's really a good sign if it takes 100 hours to start enjoying a game. That's like saying, play freaking, like Team Fortress 2 for 100 hours, and that's when it starts getting good. Now, TF2 is obviously a really good game, and I'll eventually get to that later, but 100 hours just to make the game, like just for the game to start being good, I feel like is a massive issue with the game itself, and that's like a massive flaw, especially for like when you just start out playing the game. I really feel like Warframe, in my honest and humble opinion, is like it's either B or C, because here's the thing, I enjoy the game, but like the issue is that I can't really farm it on my own, just because like the content has kind of become like so repetitive throughout the years, to the point where I really question if I enjoy this game or not. So when it comes to that, I will most likely put Warframe in between a C and a B maybe. As much as I don't want to be harsh on it, I still care about the game, but like honestly, in my honest, humble opinion, this game just straight up suffers from having way too many systems, a very boring early game. No, actually, I want to just bring this up real quick. It has a great cinematic in like the beginning of the game. The way the game introduces everything is so amazing, but it immediately drops the ball after like the first 2 hours you play of it. After those 2 hours, it pretty much drops the ball on everything. And if you want to enjoy Warframe, you're gonna have to go through the wiki a lot, which is one of the biggest issues this game also has, is that it's very reliant on a wiki to help you out. So in my honest and humble opinion, I do think, even though I do love this game, I do think Warframe is in between a B and a C. It's a good game, but I feel like with all the drawbacks it still currently has, it's kind of struggling a bit. Now, they did put a new director, and I'm really hoping that that new director is able to Rebecca, who she's been on the Warframe team for a long time, is able to improve the game. Oops, that is my bad. I did not mean to move that around. My bad, guys. Anyways, let's just continue on. The next game I will be rating is obviously Minecraft, because everyone loves Minecraft. Now for me, Minecraft is definitely in between an A and an S. Now, the only issue I have with Minecraft is, like, they've been making some pretty dumb decisions lately with the voice chatting and everything. Not voice chatting, just like the text chatting and the moderation. The game's fantastic, but I really feel like the devs sometimes don't know what they're doing. Like, well, obviously they do know what they're doing, but I just feel like they don't know what the community actually wants. I don't know if it's a Microsoft thing mainly. It could possibly be. Because Minecraft is such a big game and it's owned by Microsoft that, you know, like, changes are bound to happen, but I feel like the changes that have happened recently have been very negative to the game and very detrimental. So, Minecraft is still a good game. I still rate it between an A and an S. And yeah, I feel like that's where it really belongs. Now, what other game should we pick out? This game. This was a Xbox 360 indie game originally. I remember playing the hell out of this, and it was just Minecraft with guns. Now, is it better than Minecraft? No. In my honest opinion, the game didn't really age well, and the freaking developer who originally made this game turned the freaking picture into an NFT, which honestly pissed me the hell off. I still enjoy the game time to time. I hop on it on the PC version and just screw around a bit. But overall, I would say this game is just a straight up C tier. It's just like okay. It's only fun when you play with friends really and screw around with it. So yeah, I would say it's a C. Probably maybe going down to a D, but I would just say for me personally, it's like just a C. It's okay. It's an okay game. Now, a game I want to pick next. Let's see. What theme? You know, let's go with the Pokemon franchise real quick. I feel like we should just get these out of the way. Pokemon, I've had... Oh, shoot. I just realized I didn't put Crystal on here. Yeah, that's fine. Crystal would probably be like a B or A or something. Pokemon, I've enjoyed it. I used to be a big fan when I was younger. I don't really play it as much anymore. X, I think would be just a B game, honestly. Let me just put Warframe right here. Let me just adjust this just so it's like in between B and C. Honestly, X is just like a good game. It wasn't really anything special. The more I look back on it, it was on the 3DS. So yeah, that's all I really had to say about X, to be honest. It was really cool though, like when I first got my 3DS. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This one was definitely a bit better than X. I want to put it at A, but like I feel like it's in between an A and a B. I thought it was definitely better than X, but like I don't want to put it any higher. I'll just put it as like a really high B, just a really high B. Moon was it's just a B. It's straight up a B, because in my opinion, Ultra Moon is gonna be an A because Ultra Moon was pretty much like the complete product of the game. This is what the game originally should have been, in my opinion. Moon was definitely like a game I feel like they kind of rushed out a bit, so it was kind of incomplete. It was cool and all, but like honestly, Ultra Moon was the more complete game. And I honestly think like the Pokemon franchise, like I just stopped playing it after Ultra Moon. When Ultra Moon came out, that's when I stopped playing it. After I got done finishing that game. Yeah. So, what games should we rank? Okay, I think I have a series of games I want to rank. These games that you see me moving around right now, I've had a really special relationship with. Honestly, like a really, really strong relationship with. Now, the Patapon series is a game from the PSP era. And they were really good. They're really good rhythm games. If you have not played them, I would highly recommend playing it on an emulator or something, because they're fun. I honestly, genuinely enjoy these games. Now, I did play the first one. The first one was just straight up good. It was good, but honestly, I would probably put it at like a lower B, like a low B or something like that. So let's just, I don't know, put it right here, I guess. Because it had some issues. The second game introduced something called a hero, which made the gameplay a little bit more fun and engaging. In my opinion, 2 was definitely an A tier game. Same with the third one. The third one had such a big shift though. in terms of systems. Because you still had the hero, but you, instead of having like a massive armory like you did in like the first 2 games, the third one, it exchanges like that army for like 4 players. So like 4 of your guys. So your hero and then just 3 other, you know, characters you just have with you playing. So yeah, it's a good series. I would heavily recommend trying it out if you guys have not played it. This is honestly one of my favorite. Oh, what the hell did I do? What the frick? This is one of my favorite games in my honest opinion. It really is. I really enjoyed it. Now, the next game I want to rate is Roblox, and I still play this game. I still play a Roblox a bit. In my opinion, Roblox is also, I want to say like between A and S, but I also want to say it's a really strong A. Mainly because Roblox was just, I'm gonna move it actually up to S. I'm actually gonna move Minecraft up to S because honestly, these 2 games hold like a really special place in my heart when I was younger. I just feel bad for Minecraft and like Roblox god damn it, at the exact same time, mainly just because I feel like they've been getting like done dirty by their by the people who have been managing them. And honestly, it kind of makes me a little bit upset. But Roblox is still pretty fun. I miss the old logo to be honest for it too. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I definitely miss for sure. Alright, what's the next game we can rate? Coded Arms. If you guys don't know, this was a PSP game, a first-person PSP game. And in my opinion, I love this game. Yeah, it was first-person, and like the PSP controls were wonky as hell. But it was a really good game. For the sequel, however, this thing's actually straight up going to D. They downgraded the gunplay, because if you guys don't know, this first game right here had way better animations than the second game did. The second game was so much more stiffer, and like your movement was so restricted too, and like the levels were so bland that, oh my freaking god, that honestly the game wasn't really that much like that enjoyable. Like the sequel to this game honestly was quite ass. Like I actually did not enjoy it at all. It was such a downgrade. So yeah. Now, when it comes to Smash Brothers, I've played Melee, Brawl, and Ultimate. These games, I honestly feel like they actually have to be an S. Because honestly, these games are really good in my opinion, even though they're fighting games and I don't really play them as much. These games still, I feel like, hold a special place in my heart. Obviously, if a new Smash Bros came out, I probably wouldn't buy it because honestly, I see Ultimate as like the final game in the series, so I wouldn't even buy it or renew my Switch because I don't play my Switch anymore. So yeah, honestly, the Smash Brothers series is honestly really fun though. Like, it really holds a special place in my heart. In all honesty, it really does. Now, let's look at Fortnite. Oh yeah, everyone loves a bit of Fortnite in their lives. Fortnite, I feel like when I first played it, it definitely was an A tier game. But now it's like more of like a very strong B tier. Yeah, I feel like it's just a strong B tier contender. I wouldn't really say it's that big anymore. Like, yeah, like no one barely plays it. So yeah, honestly, it's just Fortnite. Honestly, yeah. You know, little Jimmy got to get them V-Bucks, guys, you know. He loves them V-Bucks. He also likes Fortnite ass too. Anyways, let's continue on. The Call of Duty series. World at War is definitely an A tier game. 110% it's an A tier game. I still enjoy this Call of Duty. In my opinion, I really like it. Black Ops is also, in my opinion, an A tier game. Oh, this is Black Ops 4, not 3. This game is honestly just genuinely C tier. Like, it's alright, but like, honestly, it's not really that great. Like, it's honestly, I'm probably being too generous with C tier, but it's honestly just an average ass game. It feels like a generic first person shooter. That's why I'm not really rating it that high. Black Ops 2, however, ooh, definitely a strong A tier. I enjoyed this game. It was really fun. I honestly think the weapons in that game were really cool too. Okay. Now, what other game do I want to rank? Lost Ark. This is an MMO I've actually been playing recently. But the issue is that I'm really suffering from burnout, and I'm starting to think that the game isn't really for me. Because it's really alt heavy. And like, here's the thing, I do love playing this game. In my opinion, the combat's like fantastic. The big issue with it is that when you have to play like multiple characters in order to be efficient, I feel like that's like when it's like starts to get like, oh, that's when it like starts to get like pretty repetitive. Lost Ark, for me at least, is between a B and an A. I love the game, but I am burnt out of it. And I also don't like the alt heavy, like daily grind. Cause like, if you don't know, this thing has dailies, and like the dailies get so repetitive to the point where it's like it just becomes boring to do. And I think that's what happened to me, is that the game got extremely boring with all the dailies. So I might actually just bump this down to a B, but for me, it's like, it's a really good game. That's the thing. It's a really good game. The issue is that it also got mismanaged by Amazon too. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna sadly have to put Lost Ark at B. Like, as much as I love the game, I just think like, with the way it's structured, like, it's a free-to-play game, so I'll give it a pass on there, but like the way it's structured is just, I don't know, it's too RNG heavy. Now, these two games are games probably most people have, oh god damn it, most people that never heard of. Rengoku was a game on the PSP era that had a really cool art and design, but like, the issue was that it was just the gameplay. In my opinion, the first game had a really cool art design. And like the freaking scenery, like some of the art, like you could, because this thing had like an extra option where it just showed you all the artwork, and the second game has the exact same thing. But looking at all the artwork was like so metal. Like, it had one of like probably my most favorite pieces of art in a video game. The only issue was that the gameplay kind of sucked ass. So I'll put the first game on C. Oh frick, I didn't want to do that. God damn it, why do I always mess up? I'll put the first game at C though. The first game, in my opinion, is a good C tier. The second game definitely was an improvement, and it still had like probably one of the coolest art styles ever. And I'll put it definitely at B tier. I'm so sorry that my tier list is scuffed, guys. I'm really sorry. Like, you're gonna have to deal with it, but I'm super sorry. Wish I could make it a bit better. But this game was still good. In my opinion, I liked the game a lot. The second game definitely was better than the first one. And that's like 100% guaranteed. The second game was definitely better than the first one. Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know where to put this game, honestly. Because I did play it and I did enjoy it. For me, since I don't know, like they focused way too much on the online aspect. It's gonna have to go in B tier. I'm so sorry, guys. It just has to. It's a good game. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a really good game, but like, goddamn, bro. Like, they really heavily focused on the online aspect. Team Fortress 2. This is obviously an A. It's a really good game. In my opinion, Team Fortress 2 is a really good game. I want to move it up to S a bit, but like, in my opinion, I don't know if that would just be a bit overkill, but I do enjoy the game a lot. The game is good. That's all I'm saying. The game is good. It's a really good game. The bot issue was like probably the biggest problem that was preventing me playing the game though, because if you guys didn't know, the game has been overrun by bots for such a long time, to the point where like the game like was like straight up like unplayable and casual. So like yeah, it was like pretty miserable. Among Us, the best meme game ever. I'll put it in S just for sus, just because this game changed the way we think. Like Sussy Baka, everything like that. This game has changed everything that humanity stands for. So yeah, I don't know where it's going with that, but yeah. Now, Garry's Mod is also a very good game as well. I'm definitely putting Garry's Mod as at A, just because there's nothing really wrong with it. You make your own experience and you know, you have your own fun. Like there's nothing really much to say about Garry's Mod. Metal Gear Solid Rising. Oh, this is supposed to be Revengeance. Well, here's the thing. This game is a strong A. It's a really fun game. It is indeed a really fun game, and I personally really enjoy it. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't have anything really bad to say. I do think the parry system is a little bit wonky, but like overall, I think it's a really great game. Dragon's Dogma. This game's obviously an S. If you guys have not played this game, the game is flawed when it comes to like certain aspects, because only 40% of the game was actually like, you know, created in a sense. Like that, like only like 40% of their vision was put into the game because I think Capcom rushed them. But like this game is so damn good. The combat is so amazing. I love it. The story, yeah, it's meh. Yeah, the story is just meh. Like, it's sad that they weren't able to flesh it out as much, but like, this game is honestly like a hidden gem. It really is, and I'm really sad that it's like really underrated. Cause they're making a sequel to the game, and I'm just really hoping that the sequel will be able to bring people into this game, cause the game is so good. It really is. It was a really good open world for its time at the 360 and PS3 era. It was honestly a really good game. Next, we have Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a really, really good game. I'm not denying it. It's a really good game. This is my first Souls game, and I honestly enjoyed it a lot. So I'm gonna have to put Elden Ring. I wouldn't say it's a high S, but it definitely is like around S tier. I definitely want to say that. The only issue I have with it is just the community is kind of ass. Like the Souls community is just sucky. That like I tend to avoid the Souls community just because like I just hear negative things about them, so that's the reason why I'm like, I love the game, I just don't like the community. And the same is applied to the next franchise we're gonna look at, the Monster Hunter franchise. I love the games, but I also despise the community at the exact same time. Like I actually fell out with the community, so that's the reason why. Like I love these games. They're my favorite games. They hold a special place in my heart. Because the Monster Hunter franchise I've been playing for years. This was my very first game on the PSP. Freedom Unite, and it's obviously going in S tier. It's obviously going in S tier. I love this game so much. It's honestly the game, like, cause like I like when growing up, it's like, you know, like you just, oh my freaking god, I'm stuttering, but like this game has helped me get through a lot of stuff, especially like when I was younger, and like whenever I was sad, like I wanted to play a game, like this was the game I would always go to play. And honestly, this game just really helped out with me, like holding through when I was like really younger, because I kind of had like a little bit rough stuff going on during, like, I'd say like the early years, I would say 110%, and this game just really helped me out with that. So Freedom Unite obviously holds a special place in my heart. Honestly, Freedom Unite is honestly like a very high S tier for me, just because how much it holds a special place in my heart. Yeah, the hitboxes are wonky. A Plesioth can freaking hip check you from like a mile away. Or like some monsters' hitboxes are just so damn ridiculous that you don't know why the hell they hit you. So yeah. Let's talk about the next one I played, 4 Ultimate. 4 Ultimate, when I got my 3DS, this was one of the games I actually wanted to try out. And honestly, this game is also S tier. 4 Ultimate is such a good game because they introduced so much mechanics to Monster Hunter that like kind of revolutionized it like around that time during the 3DS era, with like the mounting and everything, and like the 2 new weapons like the Insect Glaive and the Charge Blade. This game is really good. 4 Ultimate is honestly one of the best old school Monster Hunters out there. I probably would still play Freedom Unite, but 4 Ultimate is still a very good game. I forgot to bring it up too. I'm a longsword user. I've been playing longsword since Freedom Unite. That's been my main weapon, and it has always been throughout all the Monster Hunters I played. You know, just because I like longsword. In my opinion, longsword is just comfortable to use for me. Yeah, like I just really enjoyed playing it. So yeah. I didn't include Generations. This is Generations Ultimate, but if you guys don't know, this game's called Generations on the 3DS. And it's the non-expansion version. Now, I would put Generations at a B, but Generations Ultimate definitely was better than like the original 3DS game. This was an expansion. Now, surprisingly, this game in my opinion is not an S, but it is like a good A tier game. This is a good A tier game. Generations Ultimate, in my opinion, is a good game. It's definitely a good game. The only issue I just had with it was that like it wasn't as like it had a lot of replay value, but like some of the things in there, it was like could use some work. Honestly, some of it could use some work. Like I enjoyed all the new monsters they added. I think the only issue I had was with I don't know what it was. It was freaking something in the game that I didn't really like. Oh, you know what? I think that's just the issue with the first game. That's what I'm thinking about. The first Generations, because in my opinion, the first Generations I felt like didn't have that much replayability value. Like, it didn't have much replay value. Like, the replay value on it was kind of meh, which was my biggest criticism of the original game. This game definitely like fixed a lot of the like I feel like issues of the original game, but it still suffers from like certain issues. Now, a lot of people complained about the flashy moves. I personally like the flashy moves because it kind of reminds me of Monster Hunter Frontier. And I like Frontier. I just want to say that. I like that's a sin in like the Monster Hunter community to say sometimes, but screw you. But yeah. World is a C tier. You guys are probably shocked because I do like Monster Hunter, but in my opinion, I did not really enjoy World that much. Iceborne, I enjoyed more than Base World. Iceborne for me was definitely like a very strong B. No, I'll put it in between like B and A. That's where I felt like Iceborne was with me. Now, I'm just going to explain why I didn't like Monster Hunter World. For me, it was the way the weapon designs were, and like how some of the mechanics worked in World. And not only that, but some of the maps. The Great Forest map, or whatever it's called on World, absolutely sucks. It's way too cluttered. You don't understand how many times there's like the freaking scouter bugs or whatever they're called screwed me over and led me to somewhere else by accident. You don't understand how annoying that got. And like not only that, the weapon designs were also like just slap and paste designs, like copy and paste. It was honestly really bad. And Iceborne still suffers from the same issue, which now I think about it, I'm going to put down the B. Honestly, because here's the thing. Iceborne had fantastic fights, and I feel like fixed some of the issues World had. But they introduced other issues like Clutch Claw, Tenderizing. I did not enjoy that. Honestly, Monster Hunter World, in my opinion, is just an overrated game. I think Nergigante is an overrated flagship too. He's a good monster, but I feel like he just became too overrated, and I just wanted to stop hearing about Nergigante. I know that might sound so harsh and critical, but honestly, that's how I honestly feel about World. Like, I could just be like being like just bashing on the game, but like I just genuinely did not enjoy it as much. Iceborne definitely was a better experience, but World, in my opinion, was a mid game. Iceborne was a good game. Even though it was an expansion, it definitely was better than World in some aspects, but it introduced Clutch Claw and all that stuff, and honestly just kind of ruined it a bit for me. So yeah, I think World is still a great game though. I just want to say that. But just for me, for someone who just been playing like the games for a while, it's the only game that I really did not enjoy. Like the only Monster Hunter game. For me personally. I know other people enjoy it. Just for me personally, I did not enjoy World. Iceborne was better in my opinion, but the Clutch Claw and all that stuff still sucked ass about Iceborne. So yeah. Monster Hunter Rise. I played this on Switch originally and moved to PC, and PC feels so much better. For me, Base Rise was definitely an A-tier game, but it definitely had its problems though. It definitely did have like its problems. I did like the gameplay though of Rise way more than World, because it kind of gave me a Frontier vibe. Base Rise gave me, because if you guys don't know, Monster Hunter Frontier is a Japanese MMO that originally was exclusive to Japan and like Taiwan and certain places like that. And the combat in that game was super fast paced. It was ridiculously fast paced. The issue is that it shut down, which is sad. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I love Base Rise, but I did think it was kind of lacking in certain aspects. I did enjoy it way more than World, though. I just want to get that clear. I did enjoy it way more than World. And I love Magnum Malo. I love the flagship of the game. And the same applies for its expansion too, which I'll touch on in a bit. But Rise, in my opinion, the thing that sucked is that it released on the Switch. Honestly, if it released on a better console, I think a lot of people wouldn't complain about the graphics, to be honest. I think a lot of people, like, let's say if this game came out on like the PC originally or something like that, I don't think anyone would have complained about the graphics. I genuinely don't think people would complain about it. I genuinely think that people would just be like, oh, that's cool. Like, it looks just as good as World, so yeah. I think that's what the reaction would have been. Because some of the complaints I see for this game is just for the graphical issues. And, like, sometimes it's the fast-paced gameplay. For me, like, it comes down to preference. Like, I understand where people are coming from. But whenever people bring up things like, oh, the older games were way, way better, I feel like sometimes people just see Monster Hunter through rose-tinted glasses. Especially those the really old ones. Because I'm going to be honest, I enjoy when Monster Hunter, they experiment with stuff. I enjoy when they push the boundaries of the games and they try to experiment with new things. That is just my personal opinion. I think that people who see it more towards like, oh, the classic games were way better and like World was way better, I don't agree with that stance. Or like, I don't agree with the stance that say it should just be like World. I don't agree with that. In my opinion, I feel like the developers have the right to be have the creativity and freedom to do whatever they want with the games and like experiment if they want to. And I know this is mainly just like the port, like people would call this a portable title. And I just want to let people know a portable title is still technically, it's not mainline. I would just call the portable titles like semi-mainline. Like, it's definitely not mainline, but it is like semi closely related to mainline, because like monsters like Zinogre came from Portable Third, which was made by the Portable team and went into mainline games. So like, I would definitely say the portable games are semi mainline just because like certain monsters that originally came from those games came over to the mainline games and like became staples. So that's why like I would consider, in my opinion, I would consider the mainline games and the portable games canon, in my opinion. And that's really about it. Sunbreak for me is definitely an S tier game. Well, an S tier expansion and everything like that. The only reason why is because they fixed a lot of the issues everyone had with Base Rise. There are still some issues. Like, for example, they did a new title update and they added like RNG armor augments, which I don't know why they did that. I know some people enjoy it. I personally feel like if there's too much RNG, that can really affect the design of the system and either make it love it or hate it. And for me, it's like meh. I don't really hate it. I don't really love it. I do play on PC, so I did mod in the augments. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I've seen some of the combinations, like the legal combinations you can do. The augment system is kind of broken, and I think that's like the only like complaint I have about it. But it's not like overpowered broken. I mean like it's more broken in the sense like the RNG is kind of like a little bit rough. But yeah. But in all honesty though, this game I feel like is what Rise, we're talking about the base game here, this game should have been. Sunbreak is literally what Rise originally was supposed to be. I'm being 100% serious. This is what Rise should have been from the beginning. I really feel like this is what Monster Hunter should have been. Not like the entire franchise, I was just talking about Rise itself, but I really feel like this is what Monster Hunter Rise should have been. This is what it should have been when it first came out. And Sunbreak fixed so many of the issues. There are still some issues like charms in the game, but like everything else, I feel like they did such a wonderful job fixing and mending. It's like, oh my god. Like, I know I'm like stuttering a bit, but like Sunbreak is what Rise should have been, and they fixed everything. They added the Master Rank expansion, which is just G Rank. I personally prefer G Rank. It's the G Rank expansion, and it honestly fixed a lot of the issues I even had about Base Rise. And honestly, what makes it even more fun to me is that the game I feel like feels a lot more Frontier than Generations Ultimate. Rise, I felt like, even though I did say it has hints of Frontier, it definitely felt like GU in a sense, with like the certain moves and everything. This game straight up feels a lot more Frontier than Generations Ultimate, which is honestly, in my opinion, what it should have been in the first place. Now, could the game still have been a little harder? Yes, I do think so. But in my opinion, Sunbreak is a really good game, an expansion. I really enjoyed it. It fixed all the issues. The only Monster Hunter game I never really enjoyed was just Straight Up World. I know that might upset a lot of people, but I'm just being honest with my opinion. I don't think World was that great of a game. I do think it was a bit overrated. Is it a good game? Yes. Is it a masterpiece? No. In my opinion, World is like an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 game. Iceborne, I would say, is like an 8.5. But for me, I personally just did not enjoy it that much. So yeah, this is my tier list. These are all the games I've played, and remember, there's more, but like it would have taken way too long to record all this stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, there's some games I'm passionate about, like Monster Hunter, obviously. Like, it's been with me for such a long time. Warframe, I enjoyed Warframe. It's also been with me for such a long time. It's just the systems and everything kind of ruined the experience. And I'm suffering from massive burnout too. Like, it's only fun for me to play it with my brother. Other than that, I don't touch the game at all. I just don't. This game like kind of went downhill for me. And yeah, like, this is pretty much it. This is pretty much my tier list, guys. So I appreciate you all for watching. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys. Bye bye.